You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Black and White sports fans, it's been a few weeks now since Jon Gruden apparently resigned as the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, we've always speculated here on this channel that he was technically fired. There's no doubt in my mind that he was actually fired, even though the official word is that he resigned on his own will. Nobody is really buying that whatsoever. Jon Gruden was forced out. And what we're going to be talking about in this video is more proof that the Raiders fired him, or at least they were forced to fire him by the NFL if he did not resign his position as head coach, because the NFL needed a fall guy for this whole email scandal with the Washington football team. And Jon Gruden had nothing to do with the misconduct of the Washington football team, and they want to put this puppy to bed. But there's people out there that are asking a lot of questions. They want the emails released. The NFL has refused. All the blame on this thing pretty much lies with Jon Gruden. But however now, what we're going to be talking about here should let you know Jon Gruden was fired, folks. Let's get into this. Raiders Jon Gruden reached settlement on his contract. Ladies and gentlemen, if you resign your position, why should you be entitled to money on the rest of your contract that you didn't earn? It's because Jon Gruden was really fired, folks. Let's read this. Although Raiders coach Jon Gruden technically resigned, the resignation undoubtedly came under threat of termination, and this is from Pro Football Talk, Mike Florio here. He's echoing the same thing that I just said, under threat of termination, if he didn't choose to leave voluntarily. Unresolved when he abruptly walked away was the balance of his reported 10-year, $100 million contract. Via Vit Tafur of TheAtlantic.com, owner Mark Davis said Wednesday that a settlement has been reached. Gruden reportedly had $40 million in remaining guaranteed payments. PFT had reported when Gruden signed the contract that it was not fully guaranteed and potentially backloaded. The release of claims that Gruden signed in order to get his money likely extends broadly enough to cover the league, especially since the Raiders represent 1/32 of it. If so, that would prevent Gruden from suing the league for intentional interference with his relationship with Raiders. And we know, folks, I believe anyway, that the NFL definitely interfered with Gruden and the Raiders and Mark Davis. The NFL wanted him gone. They needed a fall guy for the whole email scandal. And pretty much, the Redskins are getting away scot-free, but not Jon Gruden. Out of 650,000 emails, his emails are pretty much the only ones that we know about, except for a couple of the random ones. Out of 650,000. The NFL wants this to go away. But Mark Davis, who owns the Raiders, said this, quote, "He's hurt. He's really hurt. And I understand that," Davis said regarding Gruden. "But he understands the ramifications of what he said. I love Jon and I love his family. We all have demons in our lives, and you have to understand that. And you also have to look at redemption as well." Close quote. Redemption, okay. Now, this is the hypocrisy here. Jon Gruden, they fired him, and I'm saying fired him for emails from 10 years ago, upwards of 4 or 5 years ago, and he doesn't get a second chance. But yet we have seen NFL player after NFL player that have done much worse things. Greg Hardy got a contract with the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones signed him. And we know what Greg Hardy did to that woman, which was way worse than anything that Jon Gruden wrote in an email. Personal emails. But Greg Hardy got a contract. Josh Gordon, how many times has he been suspended by the NFL? 6 times. And he has gotten a 6th chance to come back. But I don't believe the NFL wants anything to do with Jon Gruden anymore. It says here Gruden's redemption likely won't come in the form of a return to coaching in the NFL, and he probably won't be interested in something like the reconstituted XFL. I don't see him going to the XFL. I really don't. His future could come in the form of providing NFL content for one of the various sports books, which are trying to get into the sports content business in order to gather a pool of visitors who then can potentially become customers. They're throwing huge money around, and Gruden possibly could make the same $10 million per year from a gambling company that he was making from the Raiders. Now, that's a good point right there. He can actually be behind the scenes, making roughly the same kind of money to kind of get a chance to come back in the NFL. But I don't see an NFL team giving him a chance as a head coach anymore. I think those days are probably going to be gone. Probably so. Even though I don't believe he should have been fired in the first place and lose his job. But, we're living in cancel culture. If you say something from 50 years ago or whatever, they will cancel you, folks. Make no mistake about it. They will cancel you. If you don't think that they won't come for you, they'll come for you eventually, ladies and gentlemen. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think of the Raiders settling Jon Gruden's contract with him? He's going to get some kind of a payout. Of course, we don't know the terms of that. That's probably going to be kept under wraps. He had roughly $40 million left under his contract. How much did he get? Did he get $30 million? Did he get $20 million? Not really sure. But this is just more proof, ladies and gentlemen, that Jon Gruden was fired. And he was fired unjustly, if you ask me. He didn't get a second chance, and he probably won't. But wait till an NFL player messes up again. I can guarantee you an NFL player will get second, third, and fourth chances. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to Black and White Sports, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.